All right. So the first formation we are going to break down in this ebook is the near close flex. The near close flex formation is your main formation. It's your bread and butter. It's what you're going to come out in a lot. Within it, obviously, the fullback dive is probably one of the hardest runs to stop. It's just very consistent, very easy to use, very easy to run. So that's why we're coming out in near close flex. We're not coming out in fullback dive. We're going to set our audibles. Our audibles are going to be halfback inside, fullback dive, post drag, and Texas. So you can see halfback inside, post drag, and Texas on the next tab, and then fullback dive on the next tab. Smash is the play that we're going to come out in because of the unique hitch route that the tight end gets that you literally cannot get any other way. And it's a really good way to beat cover 2. And most people, given that people have tried to find ways to stop this formation, they have kind of settled in on this 3-4 odd pinch look out of the pinch dog 2 press. But we're going to show you guys how to destroy that formation and destroy that setup. And they're going to have to run something different on you. And that's how you catch them with everything else within this formation. So we're going to come out and smash. Obviously, we have all the plays in our audibles. Defensively, we are going to do, like I said, pinch dog 2 press. Now, most people at this point now, they think this is the move. They think this is the move against this formation. Well, I can tell you it's not. Now, most people are going to be on a linebacker because they do this little thing here where they like user rush and try to get you on the contain. But when they start doing that, that's where you can hit them with everything else like the Playmaker or the Texas routes and stuff like that. However, for the sake of this example, we're going to just do the Blitz 7 meta that everybody and their mother knows and runs. The play is Smash. Now, the reason why we're coming out in Smash is because that A route, corner route, is a very deep corner route. As you can see, it breaks beyond the 40-yard line, where you can kind of see the red line over the 40-yard marker. However, if you were to hot route him to a corner route, he would break much sharper, much steeper, and then the end result on the sideline is about 10 yards shorter than it would be with the stock version, which obviously is beyond the 30. So the setup to destroy pinch dog 2 press is pretty simple. You're going to max protect. The tight end doesn't have to be blocking, actually. You only need a block 7 against the send 7 blitz. So I'd like the tight end on either a corner route or an out route just to kind of force the opponent to user both sides of the field. It's the best way to force them to user it. The reason why we don't keep the hitch route from the tight end on this one is because the hitch route is not the best option versus a blitz 7 because you're going to try to throw it and it's going to get into the offensive line. It's going to bounce off somebody's helmet. So we just want to create better spacing. So an out route or a corner route is the way to go. You want to ID the guy on the running back side, the linebacker on the running back side, just like that. Now, we have pretty much what looks like double corners, right? Like pretty simple concept for now, okay? But the next step is going to be to keep Edelman on that hitch or whoever your outside wide receiver is, and we're going to motion him out. Now you're going to snap and you're going to throw it to that hitch route. That hitch route, nice, easy gain, about 10 yards. Crazy, right? Well, and more like 7 or 8. But still, 7 or 8 yards on a hitch route against a cover 2 blitz, sending 7, and there's almost no way for them to user everything. Now we're going to set that up again. The other option, which I'm going to show you guys now, is to keep the tight end doing the same thing. We'll put him on a corner route this time. This time we're going to put Edelman on an out route. Now we're going to create a bench concept. The bench concept is really good versus cover 2 because with a soft squat especially, the soft squat is going to match that out route. And I'll show you guys the soft squat just so you guys can see soft squat. Soft squat is going to match the out route. And when it matches the out route, it's going to open up the corner over the top. Now, the corner route in question is going to be a little too deep here because of the press look of the safeties. So in this scenario, you would want to hot route him just to make it a sharper cut, just to create, again, better spacing in order to facilitate a easier throw. So you can see he's going to break, possession catch in front of the safety. He doesn't have any abilities. He doesn't have any abilities whatsoever. So the fact that Mohamed Sanu can still make that play is very good. Now, let's say they don't press for some reason, right? Because like some people aren't going to press, right? Like some people aren't going to do this look. So we're going to reset. We are just going to do the whole blitz the same way, but without the actual press, right? So the safety is going to stay deep. If the safety stays deep, then we are going to want to keep that deeper corner route. The reason why we keep that deeper corner route is because it does a really good job of getting by the deep half towards the sideline, and it's going to be a really easy throw for you to make. Again, we want to make sure that soft squat matches, so we're going to put him on an out route. We're going to do that same motion. That same motion is going to force the opponent, and you can see that deep corner route wide open, just so easy. Like that's probably the easiest reads you can make. It's going to force them to have to user it, and then if they start using it, everything else is going to start opening up, because if they have to start covering that, then they can't set up the run defense the same way, and if they can't set up the run defense the same way, you just hit them with a fullback dive or a halfback inside, and it's just really easy. The other cool thing you can do with this play specifically is leaving the tight end on that hitch route, because by leaving the tight end on the hitch route, and then you could put this guy in the slot on a post, you have the hitch post combo, and the hitch from the tight end is going to suck the zones down. And when it sucks the zones down, it's going to create a really, really easy throw for that post over the top of that vert hook. And it's going to get into a nice little soft spot, like right here where I'm just kind of showing you guys. And it's going to be a nice, easy throw for you to make on that. So we're just going to click off of May just to go to Adams. And I'm going to show you guys how that post pops open against zones with that hitch route underneath. So the tight end on the hitch, just like that. There's a nice pocket. Nice, easy throw. Again, Sanu doesn't have post flag, any of that. Easy catch, easy read. Again, it's going to be a lot of things for your opponent to user, and by having a lot of different things for your opponent to user, it's going to make things easier for you. The last thing you can do, and it's really better versus man coverage, I would say, is you would put the tight end on a corner route. You would hot route the slot receiver to another corner route, so it's that sharper corner again, and then you would put Edelman, the outside guy, on a zig. The reason why you put him on a zig, this is better versus man coverage, but it does work for soft squats too, is because when you motion him out, that zig is a very quick read if you're getting pressured. Because the zig, for whatever reason, is almost as good, if not a better quick read than the hitch, because he's breaking inside, and it's just he just out leverages the man or the zone, and it's a super, super quick throw. As you can see, he breaks in, just turns, and then if you have a guy with grab and go, slot-o-matic, that zig route is it's just gonna pop. It's gonna be really easy for you. Your opponent's gonna have to use a lot of different things. So basically, you just do whichever variation you need your opponent to defend enough times to where he forces the user to defend it. Then you hit him with another thing. The last thing you can do out of this formation, and I don't do it nearly enough, is putting the halfback on a flat route. If you have Hot Route Master, this is a Hot Route Master specific thing, because obviously halfback doesn't have route apprentice abilities. But if you do something like this, you put him on a table route, you put Edelman on a streak route, you basically have your standard flood concept over there like that, and then you motion him out just the same way, and then you have a nice easy flood read where the halfback gets wide open. And against Send 7, that is a very, very good opportunity for you to make something happen. I'll show you guys that one more time versus Send 7, just so you guys can see how it works versus Send 7. And the reason why it works really well versus Send 7 with the Hot Route Master is because that halfback is your hot read, and there's really no bad way for that hot read to work. Only thing you want to do is make sure you ID this guy right here, just so you have enough time. But again, it's a hot read, it's a quick throw. You're not going to hold on to the ball too long. And because you're not going to hold on to the ball too long, you're going to snap throw it right there. If you make somebody miss, you could be off to the races, because again, there's only so many guys in coverage, and when there's only so many guys in coverage, your goal is just to get the ball out of your hands quickly and get it to a playmaker and try to make something happen with the ball upfield, as opposed to just holding onto the ball in the pocket with your quarterback. Another thing you can do, not so much out of this play, but it's still a nice way to add more wrinkles into this play in general, is to actually motion out the halfback. And when you motion out the halfback, he still has the ability to do anything. So I put him on a smoke screen. So you end up with essentially two different smash concepts, which is really nice because most zones don't react to the smoke screen. So it's a very good bailout against someone who is sending 7. Or you still have the smash concept on the other side. So you can end up doing something like this, where you end up looking like send 7, pinch, 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 something like this. And now it's a matter of who gets open first is the guy you throw to. Maybe you put Edelman on an out route just so you don't have to worry about him getting caught under with the hitch route. So you end up with a bench and a smash concept, and then it's just a matter of make the throw, make the read, real quick throw to the tight end in that case because he was open. And that's really all it takes to run this play efficiently, which is really nice because most people are going to try cover 2 on you. And if they don't try cover 2 on you, you can go to a lot of the other options. And that's really all it takes to run this efficiently. One last thing, I guess, is you could in theory, put the tight end on a post route, leave Edelman on the hitch route. And when you leave Edelman on the hitch route, you would want to streak the slot receiver. So it's going to look something like this. And then you have that same hitch post combo, but just from the opposite way. And when you have that hitch post combo or the post out route combo or the post zig combo, whatever it is, the post is going to get open. However, the hitch route from the slot is going to do better at distracting the hook zones than it would being the out route. The out route is going to do good against the soft squat. The zig route is also going to do good against the soft squat. However, the hitch route is going to help facilitate the post over the middle as opposed to the other routes from the outside receiver where it'll facilitate the post more towards the sideline. So in this example, you're going to see how the hitch route reacts to the other zones, and the post route should get open over the middle. Unfortunately, you have to make the read yourself. That hitch route was wide open. So if the hitch route is wide open, just take the hitch. Like I was trying to force something that I wouldn't want to do normally. But again, you saw the spacing there for that hitch route. That hitch route was getting open like all day long. We're going to run it again so you can see if I actually try to throw the hitch route. That hitch route, wide open over the middle. Something simple like that. If you wait longer, the tight end gets open. So let me see if I can wait long enough for you to see the tight end pop open. We're just going to do the same thing again. We're going to post. We're going to hitch. We're going to streak. We're going to block the halfbacks. So it's going to look something like this. We're just going to hold it in the pocket, hold it in the pocket, hold it in the pocket. See, tight end gets open over the top of the soft squat there, and you just have to hold onto the ball long enough, or, if you have escape artists, you can roll out, and you can buy time that way for that post to get open. But the post cutting over the middle of the field will get open late, or the hitch route is open kind of early. That's really what it takes to run this play efficiently. So let's move on to the next one. Next play in question is going to be the post drag. The post drag is really good because we can run it a lot of different ways. So I'm going to show you guys that now. Keep in mind, most people against this formation are going to run 3-4 or big nickel on you. They are not going to try. They're really not going to try to run 1-4-6 on you. That's just asking to get ran on. So if someone decides to get risky and run 1-4-6, fullback dive them until they quit. But I'm not going to show you guys that because it's not necessary. Most people are going to run 3-4. Now, most people also are going to run 3-4 cover 4 drop show 2. If they run cover 4 drop show 2, it's going to look probably something similar like this. Honestly, if they're running cover 4 drop show 2, you could run smash the same way with the hitches and the motions, and it's going to do the same thing. If anything, it's going to be even better because this guy over here is just going to drift all the way back. He's going to drop. He's not going to man up anything, and when he does that, you'll have a much easier read underneath. So it's super easy to beat cover 4. Just hit the shallow flats, hit the quick routes, hit the quick reads, and they're not going to be able to blitz 7 on you because there's only 4 guys in coverage. But anyway, we're talking about post drag now, right? Now there are a few things we can do out of this. Typically, you block the fullback, like almost every time you block the fullback. The first setup we're going to do is going to be basically the cover 3 bomb, but we are in cover 4, so I don't think I can show you guys that right now. But we're going to do cover 3 sky, cover 3 sky, cover 3 bomb. The cover 3 bomb is essentially how people run split close or tight offset. It's essentially the deep post with the streak and the tight end. Typically you want to run it to the wide side of the field. So we're going to just set that up for you because it does go to the wide side and not the short side. It's easier to run it to the wide side just because the post has more space to break open over the top. So we're going to go cover 3 sky again. We're just going to roll down to the cornerback. This is stock cover 3 sky, but they typically will base align because that's just what people do. So when you baseline, this is what happens. Your setup is really a 3-route combination. It's going to be a streak to the slot wide receiver. It's going to be a corner route to the tight end, and that is going to be your base setup to beat the cover 3 over the top. As you can see, we're going to wait here. We're going to buy time. That post, wide open. That safety did a really good job drifting back. However, you saw the corner get sucked down, and that's really the key, is the corner got sucked down, and that's how you create the cover 3 bomb. We're just going to highlight this right here. As you can see, that's a deep third who is now running to cover the corner out, and when doing so, it creates spacing that you need. Now, Edelman's not fast, but if you have a Tyreek Hill, you have the Torrey Holt, the 99 speed, John Ross, whatever. In Mutt, this guy, just 98 speed Calvin Johnson, 98 speed like Randy Moss, like Devin Hester, whoever. Like, there's going to be a lot more spacing here because the speed is different. But either way, you can see easy bomb, easy possession catch. There's no way anybody even comes close. Like look how much space is here. Like this is absurd. All right, so we're gonna show it to you guys one more time. We're gonna go cover 3 sky. Here we go. Doesn't really matter if it's baselined or not. Quite frankly, the key here is that you just run the route combination this way. The streak route does a really good job of holding the safety, which is why the post gets open underneath it. The corner route is how you get the deep third on the outside to suck down. And as you can see here, we just kind of wait in the pocket. That guy sucks down. You see the spacing. Boom. Right there like that. And again, Edelman, not the fastest guy in the world, but still will get the job done. Now, the other setups you can do out of this formation are kind of the other way. You want to typically run it with the wide receivers to the wide side of the field. But I'll show you guys, if you run it to the wide side of the field, the cover 3 bomb doesn't really work as well, unfortunately. But I just want to show you guys that so you guys know that there's a reason why you run it to the wide side. You can still fit it in, but it's not as good. So I just want to show you guys real quick the cover 3 bomb. See, the corner doesn't drift until late, but once he does, it's actually wide open. So as long as you hold on to the ball an extra second or two, then you can hit that bomb probably better than you can to the wide side, which is kind of interesting because most people typically think to run the cover 3 bombs to the wide side, but if you're aligning the wide receivers to the wide side to begin with, which is how you want to run this formation, then you hit the cover 3 bomb every time anyway, and then your opponent's not going to know when you pop it out on them. But there are other setups to this formation and this play specifically with that halfback wheel route. We're going to focus on that halfback wheel route real quick. Typically, obviously, you block the fullback. The tight end, I like putting the tight end on corners or posts. In this setup, I go on a post because you want to kind of keep your reads kind of half field reads in the compression set. So having the tight end going from left to right is better for you. However, if your opponent does a pretty good job of like usering a lot of different routes at one time, maybe you want to create better spacing and put the tight end on the corner route or an out route, just so that way it's a little harder for them to react to things. Also, you can put the tight end on a trail route too. Trail route is really good against cover 2. However, other than that, the post is still better. The corner route is better, or the out route is better versus most cases. So you can put the tight end on a post route for this example. Now, the last part of this is going to be you streak the slot wide receiver, or you put the slot wide receiver on a post route, or you put the slot wide receiver on a corner route. It really doesn't matter. Typically, I streak the slot wide receiver just because you want to draw the attention deeper, just to try to force the user to cover a lot of different things. And that's kind of the other setups that we have. We keep the halfback route, though, because that's that little baby wheel from a bunch mesh post. Now, the last step is going to be to either flat route Julian Edelman or to out route Julian Edelman. The out route is better versus drop zones. However, the flat route will get wide open in most cases. So it really depends on what your opponent's doing. However, you can see that we're going to keep that purple zone because that purple zone is going to not cover that wheel route very well. And that is the key because for whatever reason, the purple zones don't cover the wheel route as well as other things. So you're going to see here when we put Julian Edelman on the out route, we're going to motion him out, and we're going to pop that wheel route once it clears. Boom, possession catch. That's a risky throw, right? That's a little bit more of a risky throw. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, maybe maybe we don't get that risky this time, right? Like maybe we don't have to get that risky. Maybe we just base align, right? So we're base aligning. Maybe this time we just kind of put the guy on a corner route here. We put Edelman on an out route. We put Sanu on the streak route. So same basic setup. We motion him out. We see what happens. Oh, the out route's wide open. Boom. Possession catch, 5-10 yards. Now that halfback route is holding the zone, right? Now let's say they blitz, right? They could blitz. I mean, let's be real. They're gonna blitz you. They're gonna blitz you like this, right? They're gonna blitz you. But that halfback route is very quick to throw. Now maybe since they're blitzing you, maybe we want to put the tight end on post route. Maybe we want to streak Sanu. Maybe we want to put the Julian Edelman on a flat route, right? Now we motion him out again. We do a lot of this little motion here. Boom, quick throw, flat. Let's see what happens. Get upfield. It's really just a very quick read. If no one on the defense, let me just get over, is in this vicinity, it's basically a snap throw, the same way that you would throw the flat route, except the halfback is already up the field when you throw it, as opposed to being over here. And that's really the difference in this. It really just comes down to where they're at on the field and how they're using it. So if I'm using a linebacker over here, I'm not going to be able to get over here in time. However, maybe they use this guy, and then they go cover this halfback. But if they go cover this halfback, that tight end's probably open on the backside because he's going to be isolated. And that's really what's going to happen. So I'll show you guys what will happen here if they do something like this. But now I'm going to stand right here with the blitz guy. Well, no, I don't really want to do that because that'll kind of mess up the whole blitz. But imagine the user is going to go cover that halfback, right? Imagine that my user is going to go cover that halfback. Well, if that's the case, then maybe this tight end route is going to get wide open really quickly. And he is. Boom, possession catch up the middle. I'm picking up 20 yards with Ben Watson, just like that. Now, the last thing you can do with this formation is you can do the cover 3 bomb, but also create that tight offset double corner route look, right? You can do something like this where you end up with these 3 routes primarily, but you could also put the halfback on a flat route, so you end up with something like this. And these are the kinds of setups where you can kind of start really stressing your opponent out, because let's say they are running cover 3 and they don't know that you're going to hit that halfback to the flat, right? They don't know you're going to hit that halfback to the flat. Well, we don't have to motion that wide receiver out here, but we still have a cover 3 bomb. We now have a rollout corner to the right, and we have a flat route underneath for a quick pass. So if they're blitzing like this, well, we're not. If they're blitzing like this, we can hit that. We can hit that simple flat route where it's literally snap, open in the flat, boom, we got upfield, maybe make somebody miss, anything like that. It's just keeping the chains moving, keeping things moving forward. But now let's say, maybe they stay in cover 3, but maybe they don't blitz you this time, right? Maybe they don't blitz you this time. That's cool. I don't care if they blitz me or not, quite frankly. But we can do something like this where it's only a 3-route combo, but now we have a cover 3 bomb and a rollout corner, and we get the timing. Oh, look at that. The cover 3 bomb still works without the streak route. Now you have Edelman or whoever's faster getting by without that pull route, and now you still have a corner route on the backside on top of the cover 3 bomb to the short side. As you can see here with Sanu, this corner route is still going to get open. It's going to be a tight throw because these two guys are able to kind of converge on him. So you might not want to make that throw. However, you see Edelman's getting wide open here for the cover 3 bomb because this guy still takes that route. As long as this guy takes that route, the corner route, it doesn't matter what route's over here, as long as this route and this route have the same interaction. And that's how you cover 3 bomb without the streak route. But it doesn't take much, right? And now, on top of all of that, you can still do something simple like this, where you put the tight end on a post route, and then you put the wide receiver on a hitch route, or whatever the case may be. You might do something like this, and then you might put him on a corner route too. And you have a hitch and a corner, and then maybe you block both halfbacks, something like this, and then you just kind of see what pops open. Does the hitch pop open, or does the post pop open, or you playmaker him left or right? See, that's the other thing. if you have the hitch routes and you playmaker them, your opponent is not going to be able to user everything. And that's where things start getting tricky with the hitches and the playmakers and the zigs and the playmakers, which I'm going to show you guys in a separate video, the art of playmaker, because I think that is a very advanced topic that I need to show you guys in more detail than just like, hey, throw the hitch route and throw a playmaker to him. But if you can control the playmaker, you can manipulate your opponent's user like all day long. Moving on to the next play. The next play is going to be Texas. Texas is probably, like I said, like the play that I call the most often, because Texas it's the most versatile. It's got the most stuff going on for it, and that's why it's so good. We're coming out in cover 4 drop. Cover 4 drop is really good. However, most people out of it are going to try to blitz you. Most people are going to do something like this because that's just what people do, and also they're going to do the stupid user rush thing. I hate the user rush thing. I'm sorry. But most people are going to try this user rush thing on you. And if they start doing that, this is why Texas is so good. I'm going to show you guys just why Texas is so good with that user rush BS. Now, first things first, that tight end route is one of my all-time favorite routes. However, this year it sucks, so we get rid of it. We put him on a corner route. Most of the time we put him on a corner route in this play, or we delay streak him. But most of the time we put him on a corner route. Halfback's already blocking. That's cool. Fullback's already blocking. Halfback on the Texas route, that little trail route, that's why we keep this play, because that's already stock and it's good. Although if you have Hot Route Master, you could just put him on a Texas route anyway. It's fine. Next step would be to more than likely streak this guy, and then we just motion out Edelman because it's a good way to do it. And you see the halfback gets open, but Tom Brady doesn't have Gunslinger, unfortunately, and his release is not the fastest in the world. So you have to throw the ball very quickly. If you are going to do this, you have to throw the ball very quickly. And I mean, it's tough. But the other thing you could do to help facilitate it is to put the tight end on the delay route, like I said, because when you put the tight end on the delay route, it at least makes you block 7 versus their 7. And when you block 7 versus their 7, at least you have a better chance to at least have enough time to throw a 4-yard route. But again, it's pretty simple setup. You have the corner route, you have the streak route, you have the Texas route. We're focusing on the Texas route this time. You motion that guy out still, and then right off the rip, you snap, you throw it, boom, get upfield. You're gonna force them to user that guy, right? You're gonna force them to user that Texas route, and here's what happens when you start using the Texas route, because now this guy can't user rush you, because once he loops around, that Texas route is going to be over here, and there's no way for him to recover. So he's going to end up user covering this guy, right? He's going to end up user covering this. And now here's where we get tricky. Unfortunately, I don't have Playmaker, so you're going to have to just hope it works. But we are going to... Unfortunately, I couldn't Playmaker him. However, with QB Playmaker, what happens is this halfback becomes the playmaker guy. Also, the tight end didn't block anybody. That's fantastic. Thanks, Ben Watson. Like, I owe you one. But you just end up having this guy playmaker out here to the flat here, and that's where you make the throw, because now the user is going to be trying to cover the middle, and then you just start manipulating the user. So let me see if we can't get Ben Watson to block just one time for the culture. Because, come on, why couldn't you block the linebacker in front of you? Anyway, we're going to put him on an actual block instead. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Now, hopefully we have enough time to Playmaker the halfback. Okay, so I got a Playmaker, but it wasn't quote-unquote precise because it's Tom Brady and it's not a Playmaker guy, unfortunately. But you can see all this space over here. And again, if you have Escape Artist, which is the only way to get QB Playmaker, you're rolling out already here. And then when you're rolling out here, you get your quarterback. Your quarterback's already here. Then you Playmaker him back this way, and you just dump it off to him. The other way to do it would be to Playmaker him, flatten him out this way, and then you just kind of like throw basically an in route to the halfback over the middle. But in this scenario, with the guy usering right here, I would Playmaker him outside and just force your opponent to do it that way. And that's the best way do it, unfortunately. The cool thing, though, about Texas, beyond being able just to destroy the blitz, beyond compare and just manipulate your opponent, is this cover 3 sky look ain't gonna do anything. And I mean, because if you run gun bunch at all or no gun bunch, you know that play stick with the motion corner out, destroying cover 3. Well, we can still do that here, which is kind of cool. We're going to just do some basic setups here. Again, a lot of these things are kind of manipulating the user. The corner route to the tight end is just kind of there just to force your opponent to read it every time. The streak route to the slot wide receiver is, again, it's mostly there to manipulate the user to not cover everything. And then we have the outside guy. This is the actual concept of this setup. You want to hot route him to a corner route, so it's a sharper cut to the outside. We motion him out wide. You snap it when he's about there. As soon as he makes that break, possession catch. Now, he doesn't have route combination abilities like post flag, so it's not going to be as sharp. But if you're playing Mutt, you're going to have a guy with post flag. It's going to be better. It also works versus cover 4, so I'm going to show you guys that now. Again, most people baseline press cover 4 because for whatever reason, this is just what people do. I don't know why. Now, against cover 4, it's not as good because that guy doesn't bail the same way. However, he does still bail deep enough because he thinks you're running a streak, and then you just throw it when he breaks outside. It's pretty simple. It's an easy way to beat drop coverage, but it's not good against cover 2. But again, we have enough ways to beat cover 2 that it's fine. Another cool thing to beat cover 2 out of this, though, if we go to cover 2 real quick, is going to be the fact that now all we have to do against cover 2 is put him on a corner route, him on an out route, or him on a whip route, like Edelman on a whip route, or Edelman on an out route. And we just put the slot wide receiver on a corner, and we end up with that same bench concept to beat cover 2. And we could put the backside guy on a corner, backside guy on a streak, any of that, and then we just motion him out. And then once the cover 2 is open, we just pop it right there, boom, right in that little pocket. And again, no abilities, no nothing. It's easy there. And again, in Mutt, it's going to be even easier because you're going to have a better release quarterback because you might have gunslinger. You're going to have faster wide receivers. You're going to have wide receivers with abilities. And because of all that, it's going to make the read so much simpler, so much easier to accomplish. Now, the other thing against cover 2, though, is you can still run the Texas route, which is awesome. Which is awesome that you can still run the Texas route against cover 2. The cover 2, though, it's a little harder to fit in. However, you'll see that even against the cover 2, you can still hit that Texas route underneath the hook zone for a nice little diving possession catch. Very similar to the way we run single back spread with that little diving catch to the tight end. The Texas route works in a very similar fashion. Now, the unique concept of this Texas play is, for whatever reason, when you motion this fullback over, he goes to a hitch route. Only play in this formation that it does that from. Don't know why, but he does. So that can create some cool little things that we can do. Again, it's not really like coverage specific beaters, but it's really cool to have a poster out there because you can end up having him on a post, and then we could put the slot wide receiver on the post, and we could streak the tight end. So now we have something that looks like this. However, this is not exactly a setup that you would do versus somebody blitzing you, but that's cool to have. And then you could have the backside guy on an out route or a corner route or whatever. Or what you could also do is do something like double posts, where the inside tight end's on a post, and then you have the outside wide receiver on a hitch, so it looks something like that. That's also cool. But it's really dependent on like what kind of setups you want to go for. Or maybe you want to put the outside guy on a streak route, so now it looks something like that. Or maybe you want to put him on a hitch route, and you want to streak the fullback because you just want to mess with your opponent. And then you might want to put the X route on like an out route, so it looks something like that. So you end up with like a little like inverted bench kind of thing going on with like the streak and the out and the post and the hitch. Like a lot of different variations, a lot of different things you can do. You could also put a guy on a drag route if you really want to. I mean, that's always a thing. You could also put the fullback outside on tight end routes, so he gets a trail route. He also gets the tight end corner route, which is also super sharp from that outside guy. So you could end up doing something like this, where you have the blocking assignments of basically bunch, right? You have the tight end and halfback opposite sides of each other, but then you still have that sharp corner route outside to the fullback, who is probably going to be like 95 speed if you're Franco Harris, or 98 speed if you're Bo Jackson, or like 97, 98 speed if it's McCaffrey or Kamara or Dickerson or whoever. They're going to be very fast. So they're going to probably be the fastest tight end you'll ever use, and then you could do something like that. But these aren't like concrete setups. These are just like cool little things that you can do to add wrinkles to your offense when your opponent starts keying on certain things that you can do to mix it up and keep your opponent from actually like keying in on your very specific plays. Now we're going to get into the runs. It's the last part of this guide so far. I know this video is kind of long. Don't worry, there'll be timestamps. But we're going to go fullback dive, halfback inside. Again, most people think that they're going to be able to stop you if they do pinch dog 2 press, pinch, crash down, blitz. Like, most people think that they're going to stop you if they do this, right? Like, and most people are going to stand in the gap here, and they think they got you. They think they got you. Like, this is it right here, right? But now fullback dive. You go to the opposite side because it's better, and then you just snap it and see what happens. Oh, look. Cool. I got yardage. Shocking. We're going to do it again. We're going to pinch everybody. We're going to blitz. We're going to get down here. Now, would I want to run it to the right side? No, because that guy's already in the gap where I'm running it. Like, the key to the fullback dive is you don't run it to an area where it's already clogged. And this is going to force the D tackle to blitz inside. So I'm going to show you guys what happens here, but it's not going to be a perfect result. See, he blows it up. But if you flip it and you run it the opposite way, it works. It's crazy. But so why would I want to run this? Why would I want to run this to the right when I could just go to the left and I end up with a nice little hole there, and then it's just a matter of reading your blocks and just bouncing it outside. It's simple. Now, people are going to start keying in on that, right? Well, okay, cool. Maybe they're going to stand in this gap now. Well, if they start standing in this gap, guess what? We're going to go this way, and then we're just going to kind of fill a hole and try to get some yardage that way. Not everything's going to be a 70-yard touchdown out of this, but it's going to keep your opponent annoyed because they're not going to be able to defend it the way they want to defend it. So, you end up with something like maybe they're going to stand in this gap here, right? Cool. Well, guess what? We also have halfback inside. Halfback inside. We snap halfback inside. We maybe just bounce it like that. Oh, look, we got another 4 yards. It's pretty simple, right? Now, there are certain things that we can do to make things better, right? Now, we can do something like this where we stand here in this gap like that. Now, we could flip it, which we've already showed you. Flipping it is better against this look. Then we can motion this guy across. And we're going to snap it when he's kind of behind the tackle there. And then it's basically just going to be read the blocks and get where you're supposed to go. Now, that wasn't a great example, unfortunately, but we're going to do it one more time just so you can see that I'm not crazy, but it's pretty good. We're going to snap it basically behind the tackle, as long as our fullback actually blocks somebody. I don't run the wide receiver motion that much. I personally don't like the wide receiver motion. I think it kind of messes up the blocking assignments too much because you're not 100% sure who's blocking who. Where if you don't motion them, you're more set in who's supposed to be blocking. However, you can motion him across more like that, and it's going to create a better opportunity for you because he should, I say should, block the corner outside as opposed to the linebacker. Now, the thing with halfback inside, on the other hand, is the motion actually does a lot more good against run defenses from halfback inside. For whatever reason, halfback inside, it's just better. 100%. So when you do the motion with the wide receiver on halfback inside, you're going to end up ultimately just following that wide receiver wherever he goes. See, he blocked outside, we bounce it outside, we get outside, we get upfield, just like that. So you like to do the wide receiver motion because the wide receiver motion doesn't let your opponent know if you're running halfback inside or fullback dive, but it's better with halfback inside than fullback dive. Just like this one more time, we're doing halfback inside, he motions across, basically we just kind of see where he goes and does it from there. You could try snapping it a little earlier if you want, when he's motioning. So as opposed to the tight end, maybe you want to snap it when he's kind of more towards the tackle, as opposed to the tight end. So maybe you want to snap it like right here, and then you kind of can see that he gets a better block. And this is the fullback dive, but he gets a better block on the edge for some reason than he does when he's actually on the edge. It's weird, I know, but this is Madden 20. We don't really have a whole lot of logic in certain things, so it is what it is. Again, here we go. Motion, we snap it between the guard and the tackle, then we just kind of follow the block, and we see where we go. And it's gonna frustrate your opponent. You're gonna pop something once or twice, or you're just gonna get consistent 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 3, 4 yards, and then obviously you still have the passes too, and that's just how it works. Now, there are other defenses that people will try on you. There are other defenses people will try on you to stop the run. 3-4 bear, pinch dog 3. That is the other defense that people will try to stop fullback dive and halfback inside. Now, we'll base the line. We'll crash the D-line down. Now, this is going to stop the halfback inside to the right. Look at that. He shuts it down. Okay? Cool. He shuts it down. But I'm telling you, people who crash the D-line down out of 3-4 bear know that that's going to stop it. But it also stops it to the left. So 3-4 bear is fairly consistent at stopping it. That's cool, right? But as we already talked about, there are other ways we can run this, because we could flip it, we can motion the wide receiver across, we can snap it when he's right here, and then we just end up getting a little bit of a scrum there, and we get like 7-8 yards. So we do that again, where we just keep doing it. Hopefully I didn't do what let me reset that. Okay, crash the D-line down that way. Okay, again, here we are again. We're going to flip it. We're going to motion him over. We're going to snap it between the guard and the tackle, and we're just going to get some yardage. Now, yes, the 3-4 bear is better than the 3-4 odd at stopping this formation. Cool. But is the 3-4 bear really good at stopping the pass out of this formation? That's the real question. As we've already seen, if they're in cover 3 match or not, you have ways to beat the cover 3 with passes. If they go cover 2 invert out of this formation, well, you're going to shred cover 2 invert, because those outside corners are never going to get out to here to cover a corner out, and this guy's certainly not going to get out here to cover a motioned out corner out from the outside wide receiver. So you're gonna have a field day if they sit in cover 2 invert against you. So the only thing they have is pinch dog 3 press to stop the fullback dive. But if they try to stop the fullback dive, and we could always go to halfback inside. Now, halfback inside without any motions or anything like that isn't that great, because unfortunately, there's an overload on the right side. Now, that's fine. We don't have to worry about that, because what we can do is we can then motion this guy over, and we can snap it there, and it just creates such better spacing. Now, obviously, James White isn't the most agile or anything like that, but you can see all it takes for halfback inside to be better is a motion. Once you do that motion, it completely changes how this is blocked. And because of that, we can just get some yardage. It's not a perfect system. Like I said, chances are you're passing out of this anyway. But you like to have these 2 runs in your arsenal, because these 2 runs are what makes this formation work. Because they have to key in and do so many different resources to stop these 2 runs, that as long as you have these 2 runs available to you, your opponent is never going to be able to sell out and play the pass. They're going to have to find a defense that stops the run and the pass. And good luck doing that. Now, let's say they figure something out, right? Let's say for whatever reason they figure something out. Well, last thing you can do is you can use the double team mechanic to double team somebody. I highly recommend double teaming that D tackle, because that D tackle is the one that usually blows up the play. And then you motion this guy across, and he ends up right here. And you see he gets double teamed. However, everybody else comes free. So double teaming, cool, not so cool. It's really dependent on a lot of different things. But you could try different things, right? Like you could double team this guy over here. which is actually kind of an interesting idea, right? You double team the edge defender, and then that's the fullback dive, double teaming the edge defender. But they didn't shoot the gaps that time, even though you double teamed the outside guy. That's weird, right? Why did they not double team anybody? Now if we go halfback inside, we double team that guy again. We do the same motion. Let's see what happens. We motion the guy across. Boom. Look at that. Nobody gets through. Nobody gets through. Like, yeah, it's not a great run, but we're talking about the blocking here. We're not talking about the actual like yardage we're getting here. Remember, we double teamed this guy. Nobody actually double teamed him. However, we get a good seal there. The tight end guaranteed that guy. Edelman's going out wide here. And then you have a double team and somebody getting off to try to pick up the user there. Single. He just gave up the block, and that's a wide receiver against a guy who looks like 4 times his size. So you end up with a lot of really good opportunities to make a cut. Now, yes, maybe I should have bounced it outside here, but he was getting a spin shit. But one more time, just so you guys can see. Halfback inside versus this. Just like that. Do the motion. We're going to try to bounce it outside this time, just so you guys can see. There we go. Again, not the greatest run stick, but you can see the run is there, and that's how you do it. And that is near close flex. I hope I broke it down in detail enough for you guys. Like I said, QB Playmaker changes everything, but it's hard to show QB Playmaker without a QB Playmaker guy. So take this, get in the lab, and look out for the next part dropping soon.